We are live, live, live.
All right, all right. And we
Shout out
back.
to all the returning viewers.
Hey, shout out to Perry Punch with that Marcus McGee interview.
Oh yeah, that one just dropped today, so tap into that one. Fresh off the interview on that. We just did that one yesterday, so I got that
Nice.
one real quick.
Yeah, no, I mean it's perfect timing.
Yeah.
He's about when's that fight?
Basically a little over a month out, like July 26th. So a little like a month and a week.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
So we talked about just to give it a little preview. We talked about not being deserving of the Peter Yan fight, that little narrative going into it. We talked about the fight kind of getting leaked a little bit, because he's also number 13, fighting number 2 guy if he signed a new contract and shit like that. So to go find out, tap into the interview. It was a good
All
one.
right, good.
But I mean, we probably got to start off the stream, right? We got to start it off hot.
All right, let's go. Let's
You
go.
know, I don't want to talk about it, my guy, but it's honestly, we'll get all my thoughts on it right now as well as yours. But elephant in the room, Joaquin Buckley, takes the L to Usman. I got some thoughts on it. I'm sure you do as well. Where should we start with it? I'm just gonna pull up YouTube real quick and make sure it's live, so we're not wasting our time. Give me one second.
Yeah, I would just say I think I told you I was a little nervous for him before the fight. I think I told you that last week.
Mm-hmm.
I said I want to see Buckley tested.
Yeah.
I want to see how he handles the adversity, and he unfortunately, you know, got tested. Right? He,
Yeah.
he he showed that there's other elements to the game that he probably needs to clean up. I like what Usman said on his podcast with Henry Cejudo. Say, hey, he's gonna learn from this. And I think we've talked about it before. Like, to be in that top three position, you gotta have a ground game.
Yeah.
And I felt like when we talk about what's next for Usman, that conversation interests me as well, because what he said at the post fight interview, I don't know. However, with Buckley, it was almost like I saw that fifth round. I was like, dog, where was that in the third and fourth and fifth in the championship rounds? We needed to do that 3, 4, 5.
Right. So, before we get too far, let's stick on that point. So, you have anything else to say about that point in particular, right there?
About him, about the fifth round.
Yeah,
Oh
exactly
my
what you said
God.
about that
That,
fifth
that,
round.
that fifth round, bro, was elite,
It was good.
but he was
Um,
too far behind.
and I can't disagree with that. So here's what I got to say. What up, Jew? What up, my boy Jew? What up to all the returning viewers? You know what I mean? We're getting right into Buckley right now, so just fasten your seatbelt. We're about to get into it. So the grappling, like you said, fifth round. Where was that, right? But you also had said earlier, and I'm not here to dock anything you got to say. I'm like a Buckley expert. You feel me? So if I have any disagreements or whatever, it's just more so because I know everything about the guy. You said about how the grappling, he kind of like, you need that at the higher level. Here's my take on it. I believe he has the grappling. I mean, this guy, like, these are some stats about Joaquin. High school wrestler all 4 years. You know what I mean? Not only that, makes it to the state tournament one of the years in wrestling. I'm assuming it was his senior year or something like that. The state tournament. That means you got to pass through like 2 pre-qualifiers. On top of that, his wrestling coach is Nick Simmons, who Kamaru Usman shouted out in the podcast. That is Henry Cejudo's former wrestling coach. So Henry Cejudo is the youngest gold medalist in American history. And that guy was in Joaquin's corner. So I think Joaquin is getting a lot of slander, especially from guys who should be knowing things, like DC, and like some of the other guys who might have been calling the fight, because they were saying like, oh, I saw the brothers in his corner and I knew he was screwed. That's what DC's saying. But the truth is like, he does have experts in his corner. He may not be training wrestling like he maybe should be. That's for him to say. I'll be getting him on shortly here, and we can have him answer some of those questions too. But I don't want the narrative to be that this guy doesn't have a ground game. Because like we just addressed, he showed it in the fifth. And that wasn't just some bullshit ground game. I mean, anybody who doesn't believe me, go rewatch it. I mean, he showed like he turned Dagestani all of a sudden.
He turned
And,
it. Well, he He shut down every takedown attempt in that 5th round.
In multiple different ways, right? Usman was throwing the kitchen sink, going from a single to a switch or to a double and stuff like that. And to like high C's and stuff. And Joaquin was spinning out of the way, whizzing, and doing all the things that they teach you in high school. That's why I'm here to say that Joaquin has all that experience. He just didn't use it. So it's even less of a gap to close, because a lot of people think after that fight, Joaquin has years of development to do in the grappling. And I'm here to tell you, he doesn't. He has the grappling. He just didn't use it in the fight. And clearly we saw him use it in the 5th round. So he just needs to kind of like address that, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, because the 5th round showed a lot. When I was watching it live, I was like, "Ooh, he got the chance."
Bro, I was like on the edge of my seat till the last second, just thinking he was going to finish it.
Because he did. He had a solid chance.
Yeah, he did for sure. He put him in that position.
Usman was playing with fire, and every time he tried to take him down, he couldn't do it. So and I think here's the learning lesson. Here's the silver lining. I forgot, when was the last time Joaquin did a 5-round fight and had to go all 5 rounds?
Pretty much only with Colby, the previous one, but that didn't go 5 rounds. I think it got stopped in the 4th, I think.
I think it was the 2nd or 3rd, but right, because of that cut, may have been the 3rd. We could check that. However, almost to me, it was almost like, man, feel him out that 1st and 2nd round, you got down, but this 3rd, 4th, and 5th, you gotta take it. And that 3rd and 4th, he got taken down again. I was like, fuck. And then it was the 5th round. You got to go all in. I mean, what else are you gonna do?
And he showed he had it. So that's my biggest takeaway. He showed he had it.
Yeah, no, me too. His cardio fucking was there. He still looked like he could have gone another 2 rounds, right?
Yeah, for sure. And then how would the fight gone then? Because once he was able to execute the takedown defense, how would that fight go moving forward? Obviously, it's revisionist history, but I'm just saying it's a lot closer than people kind of are making it out to be right now.
Well, I mean, he did lose 4 rounds to 1, right? But he showed you.
Well, I'll even disagree. We'll get into that one too.
Okay. Yeah. He showed you in that 5th round that he has what it takes, though. Mm-hmm. He has the cardio there. He did stuff to take down, and he still had power in his hands. I think it's a silver lining. Like, now versus the Islams of the world, that this is the formula. You know, you gotta win 3, 4, 5 if you go down those 2 rounds.
Right, and I mean, like I say, it was a very close fight. And you hear Kamaru. I know that you probably got some takes on it, which we will get into. But Kamaru's talking about fighting Islam. You know, Joaquin almost finished Kamaru in that 5th round. So a lot of people, with the slander of Joaquin, I just want to put it out there that, look, I mean, if Kamaru can compete with Islam, or if that's what the fans are going to be saying, you know, then what's Joaquin? You know, and I think he's a lot closer than people want to give him credit for, because obviously he talks a big game, so people want to maybe be a little bit harder on him, which I actually haven't seen. I've seen a lot of support, so I don't even want to put that narrative out there. Talking about the rounds. Now, I'll be, you know what I mean? I'm a straight up guy. Obviously, me and Joaquin got about 1 million interviews together, and we're like homies at this point. So obviously I was rooting for him, and I never do that, right? I never say like I want this guy to win necessarily. I might give you a pick, but I was like, hey, everything out the window. Joaquin's my guy. I got to go with him. In the fight, the biggest thing for me was I had Kamaru winning the first 2 rounds. And what I noticed in the 3rd and the 4th particularly is that Usman basically was timing that takedown at the halfway mark of each round. Now in the 3rd round, he got that takedown exactly at about the 2 minute 30-second mark. And I believe every time it was on the feet, I mean, we could go back and watch it, but I don't really need to. Other people can if they'd like to. Share your opinion with me. That 3rd round, I believe that Joaquin was beating Usman on the feet the whole 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Then Usman gets the takedown and is a little bit lackluster in my opinion. I mean, we're talking no submission attempts. We're talking barely even passing guard. You know what I mean? He's in half guard. Just doing little pop shots of ground and pound. I didn't think it was that significant to really like steal the round. Could have been a draw. Could have been to Usman. Could have been to Joaquin. Seems like everybody gave it to Usman in the 3rd. Now I'm going to say the 4th round. I scored that one for Joaquin because Usman, while he was trying to time that takedown at about the 2 minute 30-second mark, in the 4th round, he got it out around the 1 minute 30-second mark. And a lot of people gave that round to Usman too. And I think for that whole first 3.5 minutes, Joaquin was beating him on the feet. So I think like this point system, I'm not gonna say anything about that because it is what it is. I can't change it. But I'm just saying, like, even with the point system as it is, I think there's an argument for Joaquin to have won the fourth and the fifth, and arguably a third.
Yeah, see, I mean, I'll probably go a little bit on the other side just due to the fact that I think Usman is a veteran and knows what the judges are looking at this point in his career. Get to take, like you just said, 2.5 minutes left in a round. It leaves an impact on you.
Seemed like that was the game plan, like a conscious decision.
And Bilal's done that before. A lot of these guys at this next level, they do that. They know how to win those scorecards, and you leave an impression on the judge. You took him down 2.5 minutes down in the round. You held him. You were able to control him. Did a little bit of ground and pound. And I think that, Joaquin was winning on the feet, but he never had that one punch that just rocked Kamaru Usman, that cut him, that hurt him, that left an impression on the judges. I think if you would have cut him, if he had him, rocked a couple of times in that third round, maybe I can lean with you on that argument.
Yeah. And I think that's a good point that you're making. I can respect that for sure. Those moments that kind of steal the round to where it like captivates the attention real quick.
Even Belal did that with Leon. Belal was smart. He stood up with him again, and it stood up with him for the first half, and then he took him down, and Leon could not get back up. Mm-hmm. Almost every round, and that's why it was like a 4-1 thing. Like, it's almost a formula, right? Mm-hmm. And the other thing, too, I was going to add to Joaquin is I wanted more leg kicks.
Hey, if you watch my stream, I was calling for that almost the whole time.
That's the one thing. If I were to talk to him, when you talk to him, but like, man, like we let's just add that motherfucker in.
And
there.
I'm wondering if it was because he was worried about the takedown.
Maybe, but then you know what he saw? He did. Remember, you saw a couple feints he did with that knee up the middle.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you want to take me down? I'm gonna knee your ass, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think you got to blend that in too. Like, remember when Ian fought Carlos and he kept hitting him on the head?
Yeah.
And Carlos kept on blocking it. He didn't get like rocked, but he was taking away that left arm. Mm-hmm. And I think with Kamaru, you got to take away something with some of those leg kicks.
You do, for sure.
Because that's some of these guys have that in their arsenal, and they really utilize it. The homie Wellmaker.
Yeah.
I thought that was smart too. Leg kicks. It's almost like softening the blow almost, right, for what you really want to do. Mm-hmm. So I think there's a couple, just, we're talking a game of inches.
Game of inches.
It's not like Joaquin got knocked out or got submitted and shit. He got beat by a veteran that kind of knew, he game with a game plan and he executed on it.
And, maybe he used some of his championship medal, to his advantage against Joaquin.
Yeah. Now, on Usman, can we talk a little bit about Usman here?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, he comes out and he kind of plays this, this card like, hey, if that's not what you want to see from me, Dana, UFC, mm-hmm. If you want to see me use my hands and not just do a wrestling game, then I want to fight the winner of Islam versus JDM. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I think he's going to be a one-trick pony moving forward. I'm not taking anything away from what he's done in his past. I honestly don't think he'll be able to withstand something where he can't do just the takedown. Like if Buckley stuffed him 4 rounds out of 1 and it was just a stand-up game, he loses the fight, I think.
Yeah.
He was able to capitalize, and he's not going to be able to do that to every other fighter out there. Or the other fighters are like, okay, let's take this away. You take that away from him, and you think he's going to beat you in a stand-up game? I don't think so.
I don't necessarily think so.
And I just think it's because he's on his back nine. I'm not taking anything away from him. Mm-hmm. I just think age is getting to a point where even if he sits out for a year, he's doing himself a disservice because everybody else is still going to be clamoring. Joaquin Buckley could have 2 more fights by that time, go on another 2-fight win streak, and be back in the top 5. Mm-hmm. Or talking about a championship fight. This shit goes crazy.
Yeah. And I think just a whole nother perspective, you're talking about how he matches up skill-wise, right? And I can't really, fully disagree. I don't think he's going to necessarily be outstriking a guy like Islam too. I mean, I think Kamaru is good at keeping it close on the feet, right? Keeping it close, keeping it kind of like, tit for tat. but then he kind of takes you down, and that's what solidifies the rounds. So if you're going tit for tat striking with a guy like Islam, who you probably can't really take down, you know, what's going to happen there? It's going to be like Islam's going to Kamaru him. You feel me? Islam's going to tit for tat on the feet and actually probably win that and then take him down. However, you got a JDM who is a little bit one-dimensional. You know, he doesn't really use any grappling. So, you know, that is kind of interesting for Usman there, in my opinion.
Yeah, but we saw that JDM has the ability to get up and bring it back to the feet.
Yeah, but and we just haven't seen matchups. So, you know, Kamaru's just a fresh matchup. He did that against Bilal, but Kamaru's another one where it's like, let's see what happens. Because on paper, people will say that Kamaru is the more accoladed wrestler. So if you do that against Kamaru too, it's like, okay, you know, we really can't be talking shit now.
See, and I kind of feel like Usman only has a couple more of those type of fights in him, bro. Like,
he does, and that's why maybe it might be worth just pushing him up there. I think there's also another argument too where I could see like, you know how John Jones and Tom Aspinall, they want them to fight because like you can get that star power from the former champion. So maybe do something like that, because you're looking at it from an angle of like Kamaru can't necessarily win, but also like I don't think the UFC, if they were to put Kamaru in that position, I don't think they want him to win, because like you're saying, he's only 1 or 2 fights away from retiring anyway. So it's really to prop up the next guy.
But let's say this. Okay, let's say this. Let's play this out. They booked JDM and Islam, right? They're saying October. I like Daniel Rubenstein. He said, Henry, he doesn't even know what the fuck he's talking about. But they're saying late October, right? They get that fight. Let's just say this year, okay? End of this year. So then we wait another 3 months. You got Ramadan. So really we're looking at the winner next summer if Islam wins. Maybe JDM will fight next summer too. I see JDM probably fighting twice a year. So then Usman's going to be on the shelf another full year.
Mm-hmm.
While these other guys, Sean Brady, Ian Gary, may fight each other. Shavkat, Bilal may fight each other. Joaquin may then end up getting another fight too, getting another win. And then you got all these other horses that you can like prop up, and then Usman's going to miss the boat. He got to fight like a guy like Bilal. He got to take it.
I mean, that is a good point. That's a good point.
Because then
I like the Bilal fight. I think all the other fights are kind of a waste for Usman, if I'm just being dead honest. But I like the Bilal fight. There's some smoke there. He's also the former champion. So in that case, it's
he's
like
the number one contender.
It builds your case for that title fight anyway.
And they could sell the hype. They could sell the animosity.
Yeah.
And then if he loses that fight, bro, then nah, dog, you ain't getting that. You're not getting a championship fight. And it puts Bilal in a position to be like, see, I do deserve this number one contender spot. I deserve the winner.
Yeah, okay.
Then you like it. You got all the other guys on the heel. Like Sean Brady versus Ian Gary, I think, is a really good matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Shavkat, you know, I like what you posted the other day. Like, where are we at? Your light is getting dimmer.
And you can't just sit on that forever.
Because
it's what you're talking about right now. We got like Joaquin, who literally just had his 5th fight in the same amount of time as like fucking Shavkat's had 1.
Yeah.
And we're gonna say that Shavkat's 1 still means something to Joaquin's 5, or even take a Brady. He's fought like 2 or 3 times now.
Ooh,
look at it. But it's the truth. Look at it, Ian Gary.
My boy Brady.
Yeah, I mean,
my boy. My guy.
I didn't know that was your boy, but yeah.
Low-key, he's my guy now.
Okay.
Just because you don't like him, I like. Anybody you don't like, I like.
Okay, all right, fair enough. And I don't even dislike Brady. It's not even like that. It's just like, let me just, you know, do what I ask as a journalist. You know what I mean? I like to keep it like official. So if there's things I don't like, then I can't be behind you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So watch, and like I said, I don't got anything against people. That's why I just brought up Brady, because I really don't have malice in my heart. If the point stands, Brady has more fights than Shavkat inside that time span. I'm not gonna not say that because I don't like somebody. You feel me? I only say things and point out where it's like a Shavkat. I don't have anything against Shavkat, but you fought one time in 550 days. I don't got anything against you.
Has it been that long?
Well, it was 549 yesterday, so it's 550 today.
I thought he fought Ian Gary. Oh, so he fought Ian Gary when?
Let me tell you, this is exactly how it happened. He beat Wonderboy, right? He fought Ian Gary to the day a year later. To the day. And since then, it's been another 6 months. Just about. It's been over 6 months. So it's been 18 months. He's fought one time in 18 months.
Yeah,
Kamaru Usman is the same as him now. Tell me Kamaru Usman beating a guy like Joaquin Buckley is less deserving than a Shavkat right now.
Yeah, he's getting to a point where it's almost like, okay, is this guy gonna be an injury-prone fighter? Is that gonna be the next story? I hope it's
because
not.
It's gonna slow down the division having Shavkat as a champion. Do you think they're really rushing to put him to the title when he's shown he can't even fucking be healthy enough to defend the title?
Yeah. I mean,
he wins it. There's gonna be an interim belt up in the next 6 months.
Yeah, I mean, I think it pushes him back and it keeps your name out of people's mouths. Because that's what Ian Gary does really well. I have to give him credit there. He keeps his Bilal too. They keep their names in the fans' mouths, in their base. They at least talk about him, love me or hate him. All we have to say about Shavkat is, when are you gonna fight? Are you still injured? We don't have the same aura for him anymore. So I mean, he has to go back and get like another devastating win, knockout, submission to like, oh, okay, hold on, and then the question will be again, we're like, okay, are we gonna wait another year?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Because then you're gonna run into the same problem. Your wins do have like somewhat of a fucking like an expiration
Shelf
date.
life.
Yeah, an expiration date or something.
It's on your shelf right there. Like you put a calendar up there. Last time
Shavkat's expiration date.
Every time he come in, like, hey, it's still.
He's already past the due date. He's like fucking 3 months past expired. You can't book that shit anymore. You feel me? Okay, just to conclude the ATL card, I think the biggest topic on there. Well, I mean, okay, well, to wrap up the Buckley Usman thing, so I guess we are in agreement. Let's give Kamaru Bilal. It makes perfect sense. You know, we're not here to disagree for fucking the sake of disagreement. Like, I'm here for what makes sense. And yeah, I might have been thinking title shot would be good for Kamaru, but when you said everything you just explained, I'm for Kamaru versus Bilal. There's beef there. Now for Joaquin Buckley. There's a couple matchups, you know what I mean, you can run there. You can run an Ian Gary. You can do that now. You can run a Carlos Prates, both coming off of losses.
Now, do you think Buckley would want to fight down in the rankings? That's where I was going to ask you that question.
So I think Joaquin is more so focused on who is a fighter who will grow my name. And if it's lower in the rankings, but it's a fighter that the fans respect and appreciate more, I think he's down to take it. I.e. Ian Gary, Carlos Prates. I'm pulling up the welterweight rankings now just to kind of like see what's up here.
Yeah, I think it's Bilal, Sean Brady, Leon Edwards is a Shavkat.
So that's the other one. They're saying, if you're talking about fighting up, Joaquin versus Leon. So I think there are 3 great opponents for Joaquin, honestly. And Machado, okay, so there's been a shift in the rankings all of a sudden. And it's kind of odd because, full disclosure, right? I saw your post about the rankings update, and that was a little early. They posted the Tuesday night. So
you guys see Tuesday morning.
Well, we'll have to double check, but I'm pretty sure it's Tuesday nights.
All right.
But anyway, no, they didn't post anything. So, John Morgan, you're falling behind here, but Joaquin dropped down to number 7 and Ian's up to number 6.
Actually, I think Joaquin was number 7 in that fight, and Ian Gary was number 6 during that fight.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're actually right. Okay, so it's all the same. So if you fight Machado, Gary, or Leon, that's fighting ahead. If you were to fight a guy like Prates, which is pretty damn low in the rankings, yeah, I guess it's a Machado, Gary, or a Leon for Joaquin.
How about Michael Morales?
I think of Michael Morales, you know, you get a guy like Gilbert Burns. Michael Morales has a lot of work and building to do. I don't think you give him Joaquin yet, or even like anybody above him. I think you give Morales somebody below him. He got a big step up with Gilbert. You know what I mean? He got to jump all these guys.
Because I mean, they are saying that that they're in the talks. You know, don't quote me on this.
Okay.
Rumors, right? And who knows? Crazy Kev rumors, but
yeah.
Michael Morales may fight UFC Noche versus Leon Edwards.
Yeah, actually, well, I saw they came out saying that was bullshit already. So
yeah, I mean, but I could see them putting Michael Morales on UFC Noche fight card. I could see that.
Could see that. I think it'll be against somebody lower ranked, if you were to ask me.
And I think because they almost want to push Leon Edwards out and they want to push Michael Morales in, that they may set it up. Like I said, we don't know yet, right? But
yeah, but also, Morales is too young in his career to be pushing him up there too soon, that soon, I think. Because look at this. You got guys like Machado Gary. He's right up in the mix. You owe him more than you owe Morales. You owe Buckley more than you owe Morales. You owe a guy like Edwards, you know what I mean? You don't give a former champion like Edwards Morales, you know what I mean? You already did that to him with fucking Sean Brady. So I think personally...
See, there's a lot of people right now biting at Leon Edwards' heels right now. Everybody wants to take that spot.
Yeah, and I think you give that to... And, I mean, Ian Gary, too. Ian Gary, Joaquin, Buckley, it's like a sweepstakes for Leon.
Yeah.
And then that also leaves that odd man out, right? That leaves Shavkat. So that's where it goes right there. So that's really the four. That's the top four. I know you want to keep throwing Morales in there, but really the top four matchups right here are Joaquin, Machado Gary, Leon Edwards, and Shavkat.
And Brady too, right?
And Brady too, but...
I mean, is it the number 2 spot?
Yeah, there's Brady too.
Anybody would love to steal that. And I think that's why Ian Gary's been calling Sean Brady out, because it's like, I want to... Ian Gary's very smart at playing the game. He wants to steal that number 2 spot.
Mm-hmm. And now he's also politicking against Sean Brady, being like, oh, well, maybe I want to fight Leon Edwards now.
Really?
Yeah. Actually, I think he's saying he wants to fight Bilal. The whole welterweight division is a mess. I'm trying my best to make sense of it right now, and I'm having a fucking tough time.
Yeah. See, and I think with Kamaru sitting at the number 5, nobody moved. Kamaru stayed at number 5. Joaquin stayed at number 7. Honestly, you know how I kind of look at it? It's almost like Kamaru Usman becomes the ultimate top 5 gatekeeper. If you can beat this style of wrestling and defeat him, you get to get in the top 5.
Yeah, but what happened to Kamaru versus Bilal? I thought we were in agreement on that one.
No, I get that, but I don't think he's gonna take it. I think he's gonna try to play this game. He's gonna outsmart himself, and the UFC is gonna be like, whatever, bro. We're gonna move right past you, dog. And we're gonna be another year, and we're gonna be like, he still hasn't fought. He's 39 now.
We'll see. I think he'll take that Bilal fight. I think if he hears,
smart.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If he can listen to some reason, there's no reason to not take the Bilal fight.
And I think Bilal will be like, eventually, he's not going to do the Tom Aspinall wait. He's going to be like, fuck it. They're going to give me, Shavkat now. Boom. I'm taking that. Usman, you just get right back.
And it's all going to come down to timelines. That's another big thing. That's the only way I see Morales getting one of those big opportunities is if it's like a Peter Yan, Marcus McGee type situation where a higher ranked guy is adamant about fighting and just nobody in between is available. Right. Then they'll shoot Morales in there.
And I think too, a lot of those guys, if they do get the Morales fight, they say, hey, I want to take his 0, I want to take his hype. I think that, I mean, the kid is dangerous.
The kid is dangerous, but the problem is from a promotional champion perspective, I think the UFC needs more from him to be let's get you there.
Sell him yet. Yeah, you can't sell him yet.
Yeah, so that's why it's let's give him a couple more highlight reel knockouts or something. Yeah. Give him the Sean O'Malley path. But he's there. He's got a lot of it. Probably just needs to learn how to speak English and maybe get a couple more knockouts. I mean, it's all trajecting in the right way for Morales. He's just young. I mean, isn't he 27 or 26?
25, bro.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, 25. He's young as hell.
Yeah, he's just yeah, you're right. Hey, he could wait, actually.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a future at middleweight when he's 28, 29.
Dude, he's huge.
So we're looking at a future 2-division champion. Morales is a sick fighter, honestly. Nothing against him by me saying that.
Yeah. I was going to say about the fight card, the whole, main card.
Yeah.
It was snooze. They would have flipped the prelims and the main card and had all those other fights on the
shout out to Phil Rowe on the fucking prelims with that crazy knockout.
What a comeback.
Yeah, for sure.
What a comeback.
Shout out to Wellmaker, right?
Yeah. But what's interesting is sometimes I think that the matchmakers know what they're doing
Uh-huh.
because they almost know that, hey, this could be a slugfest and we're going to get a knockout. You get some of these other guys, they're a little bit more veterans. They're a little bit more careful. They have a little bit more technique. They're not going to take one of those big hitters, you know? That Wellmaker fight, that was
Chiesa versus McGee.
Yeah, that was like the Wellmaker, that was a perfect opponent that's tough, but they know can get knocked out.
Mm-hmm.
The matchmakers know what they're doing, you know, to in order to build them. Because I think Wellmaker gets in that top 15, he's gonna those knockouts don't come as often.
Definitely not, I don't believe. But we'll have to see with him.
And I see that the Montel Jackson, I think that's a great matchup. He's fitting at 14. Vincitius, I believe his name is. He's sitting at 15. Those guys are good.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see him fight one of these top 15 guys. He said, you know, give me step by step. So I'm interested to see what they do with him. I love his backstory. I love everything about him. But
I think Wellmaker's going to have a quicker rise because he's a little bit older. He's like 32 already.
31, yeah.
Yeah, so he's not like kind of what we were just talking about with Morales. Like, I think they will be giving him like sink or swim. And it seems like he can hang for the most part. Let's see what happens here. You know?
Yeah, I mean, you got Vinicius, Oliveira, Montel Jackson, Marcus McGee, Kyler Phillips, Zahabi, Henry Cejudo. Give him Henry.
Mm-hmm. Give him Henry.
Yeah, get Henry out.
You know what? Like you say, the matchmakers know what they're doing, and Wellmaker's so early. I'm like, I'll wait on the announcement. I don't even got a fucking opponent for him. Now, the biggest thing on the card. Like, let's just get right into it, you know?
Oh, no.
This fucking trash-ass dude, Rodolfo Bellato, first is herpes, right? Now it's this bullshit. He gets kicked in the neck, and he looks to the referee to save the day, or whatever the case, to see if he saw it. Referee looks to the fucking opponent to yell at him, and Bellato thinks the referee didn't look at him, and he fucking goes to bed.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what's your take? I mean, I'm gonna say it's fucking bullshit.
You know, it's interesting. I've heard multiple takes now from, you know, Anthony Smith, Brendan Schaub went in on.
What did Schaub say? Bullshit?
Bullshit.
Yeah, bullshit, dude.
He goes, he got quit in him.
He has quit in him.
He goes, he got quit in him. He goes, that's a red flag. He'll never be able to get rid of that. Brendan Schaub was on him.
Yeah, and let me say this, though. Kamaru Usman, how he was saying in the post-fight press conference, he said, you know, you got to respect fighters because we bear our soul. The stuff that we go through before we walk out is enough to really break a man. I'm paraphrasing. That is what happened to Rodolfo, in my opinion. In that fight, and I've been in combat sports. I've competed, so I know this. Like, you don't want to be there sometimes. And, like, there are moments that present themselves where you can pull yourself out. And I'm with Brendan Schaub. That's what he did. He didn't want to be in there. And he chose a moment to quit. Like, whatever it was. Just because you make it to the octagon does not mean, like, oh, he's in it till the very end. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So it's because of all the pressure going into it, though. Like, that's why Brendan is saying he has quit in him. Because he succumbed to what he was experiencing. And all the fighters experienced that. All the fighters, like, my first wrestling match in high school, I was like, I don't want to wrestle. I think I'm sick. You know, other times I felt like I had to take a shit. But you just have to go through with it. You know, and that's what I'm saying. When Rodolfo was in the fight, he fucking quit.
Yeah, no, and I will say this. I forgot where I heard it from. I don't. Oh, it was the guy on John Anik's show, the Ray
Longo. That's Merab's like original head coach.
He basically said, like, listen, when you get it concussed, there are multiple things that can happen.
Yeah.
So he goes, there is a chance that maybe he did get concussed and his brain wasn't functioning correctly, and we should worry about the guy, and we need to do a little bit further tests after the fact. Mm-hmm. So, you know, it's a fine line, right? Because you got the herpes thing, you got this. It's almost like when you have multiple things adding up on you, it's easier to be like, I don't know, bro. Like, come where? And then the way it looked, it looked suspect.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm on the fence. My gut tells me something smells fishy, something smells wrong. Mm-hmm. My gut doesn't tell me, you know, that he was knocked out and that, like, we should, you know, not clown on him, but I don't know. He did state a statement.
Didn't even read it. Didn't even read it. Don't care. Don't care. Don't need to read it.
Hard pass.
Hard fucking pass, bro. I read the statement in your face. And let me say this. His eyes weren't even glazed. That's another big tell for me. His eyes weren't even glazed. His eyes were perfectly white. You know what I'm saying? That's a telltale sign. Usually when guys get knocked out, their eyes are glazed over. So,
Yeah.
multiple things going wrong there.
When you play the whole scenario out, the look up, the crawl back, then trying to fight with
Submit him, trying to submit the... Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pathetic. And he also pulled out of another fight too from, I think, a guy that fought on the card. I looked, because after that scenario, I was like, let me look at this guy's track record. So I pull up Tapology, and of course, like his UFC debut, he pulled out of too. So I'm like, he pulls out of his UFC debut, then it's herpes with Paul Craig, and now it's this with Paul Craig. Cut his ass. He don't belong here.
Yeah, there's a lot of tails. There's a lot of, red flags going on here. So I mean,
and when there's smoke, there's fire.
Right.
There we go. Now let's get into some hot topics before we even touch on UFC Baku. And if we can't get to Baku, then it is what it is, because these are some serious, hard-hitting topics. We did not talk about Ben Askren last week, so I just want to start with him first. Like, he deserves a lot of time. I'm going to cover it from the beginning because, again, we didn't even talk about him last week. So for those that don't know, Ben Askren had some type of staph infection from what the reports are saying. That developed into severe pneumonia, so he was then hospitalized. After getting hospitalized, they did some tests or procedures, maybe some CAT scans or something. They found out this man has a hole in his lung that basically the staph ate, because that is what staph infection is. It's a flesh-eating virus. So once it becomes internal, it becomes deadly. And a lot of people hear about this, but they don't know how true it is. And yeah, like, staph is deadly. Like, it can kill you. And this is a prime example. It got inside Ben's body and it started eating his freaking lung, dude, of all things. So he does need a lung transplant at this point. The wife is saying, like, it's looking like, basically, she didn't say it, but basically like 90% sure, like, it's a lung transplant now. And I didn't even consider the fact that you have to be, like, on a list for donors, because those things don't just get kept in a fucking fridge. Like, I think maybe somebody who just died or a living person has to give that up. Other than that, like, it's very tough. So there's a list of other people who probably need a lung too. Truth be told, my dad died of lung cancer. That wasn't like a thing that they offered us. But, people who have lung cancer, I'm sure that's maybe if it's like stage 1, stage 2, that's a treatment that they're also seeking. So it's not like these things are just super, like, available. Also, I just want to say another thing. A lot of people were confusing it with, like, he passed away and stuff. That's not the case. Also, like, DC just kind of misframed his wording. And I think as a journalist, I will say this about DC. You've done this a lot, DC. You've done this about Joaquin. You know what I mean? When you said, like, he called somebody's mom a hoe, when he called Conor McGregor a hoe, and, like, things like this. Like, DC, you got to do better. Like, you can't be so vague when you're on camera reporting to the world. You need to be a little bit better about that. So DC said, like, Ben is home with his family and he's doing better, or whatever the case. That wasn't true. Ben got flown home to be in another hospital in Wisconsin where his family lives, just in case if things become, take the left turn, he could be, like, kind of like his last moments of his life will be spent with his family. And so that's the update. His wife just released a statement, like, yesterday.
I got that,
yeah. So you want to read that at all?
I haven't shared an update because Ben has been in limbo for a while, and I was hoping to have I was hoping to have him wake up and be the one to decide what to share. I've had some media people contact me that they are going to share an update, and I'd rather it come from me. Ben is still on a ventilator, and he can support while he heals. There are good days and bad, but on the good, they have been able to wean his sedation enough for him to open his eyes and squeeze hands. Oh, man. His body can't handle coming off sedation too much yet. I'm still praying for a miracle with his current lungs, but they are currently starting the evaluation process for lung transplant. Please pray for his continued healing, and if transplant is the solution that he can get on the list quickly and easy. I know transplants are such a blessing, and I'm overwhelmed at the thought of him receiving a gift like that. No one would take better care of that gift than Ben. Thank you for every message and all the support despite this awful situation. I'm feeling so blessed by the community we're surrounded by. Give your loved ones a hug today and make sure you're prepared for situations like this. Ben is the healthiest guy I know and never could have expected this.
Mm-hmm. So it's a very, it's like a very serious, like it's not even, like I think a lot of people are thinking like, oh, Ben's just gonna survive this, and that's not the case right now. Like, to be honest, he could use every like prayer and every positive thought that I think people have right now. He could definitely use that, and I think she's asking for that because there is not much they can do, aside from probably hoping for a miracle.
I think that hit me a little bit closer to the heart because, as you know, my mom passed away now a few months ago, and I remember when she was on sedation. You don't know, bro.
Uh-huh.
You don't know. The doctors come in like, hey, we don't know if we're gonna be able to wake her back up. Like, that shit's scary. So I can only imagine what she's going through right now, because that's probably literally what she's fighting through right now.
Yeah.
Like, will he wake back up? Will his lung, and the doctor comes in like, hey, we don't think he's gonna be able to breathe on his own now. Oh man.
Right. And
to fucking life, bro.
It's crazy because a lot of people are saying he's a really healthy guy, and he
right.
He obviously looked healthy. One of my concerns, and this isn't to
he's young. It's not like he's like,
yeah, but one of my concerns, I'm just kind of wondering, is that he was on TRT. He was open about saying that, and I know when you get older, it's like testosterone replacement therapy, and they say like it's supposed to be better for older guys because they naturally lose testosterone. Yeah. But like another thing is like when people it's a steroid, and they say that like when people take these things, it kind of like suppresses their immune system. And so if he had staph infection and then maybe a slightly suppressed immune system, yeah, like I could see why, because that's a big question. How did the staph get so rampant inside his body? And that's a guess. I don't want to be like insensitive, so I'm just going to leave it at that. But I do want to read another thing, which is a comment somebody left. And it kind of speaks to your point about like what your mom may have been on. And it's something that she mentioned in the post that she made. I wasn't familiar, so let me read this for people who don't know. He says, Ben is on ECMO. It's like an acronym, ECMO.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah,
for those unfamiliar, ECMO is extracorporeal membrane oxygenation. It is a life support system that oxygenates your blood outside your body when your lungs or heart can't. It's a last resort bridge, buying time for recovery or a transplant when a ventilator isn't enough. So like he's saying, this is buying time for his life at this moment. It's almost like he's on life support.
Bro, it's crazy because literally that's basically what my mom passed away from, bro. She couldn't breathe anymore and shit, and she was on a ventilator. Then they had to sedate her because the oxygen couldn't get to her brain, which couldn't get to your heart. Your body starts to collapse. Mm-hmm. You start having really tough conversations, man, my heart goes out to her, to the whole family, bro. Like, fuck.
It's very difficult. Luckily, I think Ben is a smart guy financially, and so it's not like, some of these other fighters where if a fighter might pass away, like his whole family is screwed. Ben is a guy who has done a lot financially well in his life. So that is one thing where it's like his family's not going to be out on the streets by any means. He's done really well for himself. And just the other crazy thing is like, man, look at DC's YouTube channel. They have this show called Funky and the Champ. To be honest, one of my favorite shows. I'm very picky about the shows I watch. I don't just watch anything. I always watch that one anytime they drop an episode. Maybe 2-3 weeks ago that episode dropped. Look at Ben in that episode. Chilling. Like you and me right now. I had no clue anything was wrong. DC says he was complaining a little bit about some pain. But it just goes to show, you know what I mean? 3 weeks ago, completely normal.
That's how precious life is, bro. We never
And if you got issues, here's another thing I will say just to people watching. If you got issues, go get checked up on. Don't wait. Don't wait. I don't know how long Ben was waiting with this pain to get checked up on, and I'm not going to insinuate that he overweighted. I'm just saying, if you got issues going on, don't be waiting, man. Like, go get that shit checked out real soon and, get better or find out that it's nothing, right? Yeah. So prayers up to Ben. Somebody's saying, what if anything disappoints you most about Dana? Oh, okay. Leandro here. Well, we're not taking random questions at this time, but we will take this one. And if you have any more, we'll answer it at the end of the stream. But what if anything disappoints you most about Dana? Power slap. Power slap kind of like bothers me a lot about Dana. But
how much time do you got? Boxing doesn't show up to press conferences anymore.
Yeah.
I guess we got a BJJ thing now going on.
Yeah.
We are so spread thin. I don't even know when I'm gonna get Dana anymore.
Mm-hmm. He didn't come to Buckley, Usman, and I predicted he would. That pissed me off.
What did I say?
Well, you didn't give a definitive. I tried to bet you. You're like, I'm hoping he's there. I tried to bet you.
I'm hoping every time he's there, bro. We're not getting the same Dana anymore.
Yeah. Hey, Leandro says sorry about your mom. So shout out to your mom. Rest in peace.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, the not showing up to the press conferences is egregious. You better show up there for stars like Usman and Buckley. There's no excuse. Now you got me a little bit heated. I told you I wouldn't be heated if he did that with other guys, but Joaquin and Usman, there's something up. You can't show up to fucking Atlanta. Here's
the thing, and I told you as a media guy you need to be upset because that's when you get all the juice. The fight before that, when he was at the Marab Sean O'Malley, bro, we got so much content from that.
Mm-hmm.
Like he gives you juice.
No, and now I'm in agreement, but my thing was I feel like he doesn't show up when fighters don't give juice in the main event. You know how some fighters don't talk?
No, it's your.
He doesn't show up for those ones. But now I can't. That argument is null because he didn't show up for the guys who talk.
No, he's so spread thin now, bro. He wants to be successful at everything.
It pisses me off.
Boxing, fucking the powers. I mean, who the fuck is watching Power Slap?
Nobody. It's all like a social media fucking like fake facade.
Evidently, it's gonna be the next best thing, and I never knew about it. I had no idea. That it's, I don't know. I want to know how long is the training camp for fucking Power Slap?
Dude,
how many coaches do you need?
Never even thought that far. I never even thought that far. You're thinking too far. You're giving it too much credit. We don't gotta worry about that shit.
It's zero.
There's nothing. You get signed off the street because you're broken. You need a quick 12K to get slapped in the fucking face. Literally, it's that question where it's like, how much to get slapped in the face? Would you do it for 12K? It's like, yeah. It's like, all right, here I got pen. Here's a fucking contract. Tuesday we got the fucking Power Slap. You're on.
Why don't we start doing arm slapping, arm wrestling too?
Seriously.
The best arm wrestler in the fucking world, bro.
Fuck all that, honestly. Okay, we're coming down here, but I did want to maybe touch on a couple more things, and that is
And here's the other thing.
What?
When you see these other guys step in for Dana, you turn off immediately.
Definitely.
Because Dana has something special. He is the ultimate hype man for UFC. That's why he's so good at what he does. You need to get if we're gonna do this, then get a better hype man to go back us up.
And that's why it's like I don't know if I mentioned to you before, but it's like, that's why it's like, man, just fucking throw like DC in there or something. Like if Dana doesn't want to do it anymore, like throw DC or somebody, like a Chael Sonnen. Like
Chael Sonnen, I'll take.
Yeah, like give us. That's you see where I'm going with it.
Yeah, I love Uncle Chael. Now, if you put Uncle Chael in there, he was gonna give us some juice.
Like how how Conor McGregor does it for BKFC. That's what we need for the UFC.
I'd love
like one of these old head retired guys who knows how the media works. Put him up there. Like Dana, if you don't want to do it anymore, then fine, bro. But like we don't like you that much to where like we're just down to have you here. Because this is my thing. Right? This is my thing. I'll say, and then I'll let you finish it off. I'm over Dana at these press conferences because even if he shows up, I can just sense that he doesn't want to be there. And it's like, listen, if you don't want to be here, then I don't want you here. You're not that fucking cool, Dana. Like, I like you here because you give me juice. But if you're going to start coming here acting like the cool fucking kid on the block, then get the fuck out. I don't want to hear you. And that's why I haven't been that pissed that Dana doesn't come. Because in my opinion, every time he does come, he acts like the cool kid on the block, the mysterious kid on the block who doesn't want to answer any questions. It's like, if that's how you want to be, Dana, then just GTFO, bro, and send Chael or DC. But go ahead and wrap up this topic.
No, what would be an interesting topic for next week is who are the top 3 guys that we would put in that position. I think Chael would be heading that race. So I'm gonna create a list of like who would be the guy to replace him that has a mouth.
Definitely Chael and DC are probably one of the top 2.
Yeah, I don't like DC like that though.
But DC's like a spokesperson. He's like the unk of the UFC.
Yeah, he drinks the Kool-Aid too much.
No, I hear you on that. He is a little bit disingenuous.
Chael,
if you look at
Chael will go off the cuff.
No, yeah, it's true though. It's true because Chael, he will speak against the UFC, and if you notice, DC never really does. So DC will keep that. DC will keep a veil in front of the fans.
Yeah, he's too PC.
Chael will pull back the veil and let you see everything.
Maybe even Anthony Smith. I liked how he spoke.
Oh, I don't fuck with Anthony Smith at all. I almost find him like a fucking beta male, and it's crazy to say because Anthony Smith is a fucking badass, but he's fucking
Brendan Schaub.
All
right, so we got Brendan so far. All right, we'll create that rolling list.
Yeah, Brendan, I think he gets a lot of hate, but Brendan actually not too bad. So just moving down the list, did you happen to see that Nick Diaz photo?
No, I was trying to find it. I couldn't even find it either. I didn't know where it was.
I mean, if you scroll down on Parry Punch, you should see it. It's only like a few posts down.
You got it on your shit. Okay.
Yeah, but there's not much to say. It's just a photo. I just figured I'd see what you think about it.
Let's see. My initial reaction.
Yeah. He doesn't look the best. If you're asking me, like, he looks like fucking... like he's been through it. And it looks like he's, like, camping, sitting on a volleyball court. Like, it definitely looks like some type of rehab. Maybe, like, during family visitation.
That does look like a rehab. With his eyes closed?
Yeah, he's, like, got his hair all messed up. It looks like he's been kind of, like, weaning off something.
I mean, it's a bad photo.
It's a bad photo. And who the hell took that shit?
Yeah, it's a bad photo. Don't post that. Don't post. I mean, like, whoever took it like that, like, let's take another one. Hey, take two, Nick. Take two.
That's what I'm saying. Like, which one of his homies just took that and posted it?
Yeah. Hey, eyes open, alert. Let's maybe get a little smile.
A little candid. Like, act like you're talking to him. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Maybe reading a book, the Bible, like, something like that. The Quran.
Yeah.
12 steps.
Do you think it's a good sign though that like maybe there are people around him that care about him?
I think it's a better sign.
Okay, I do take it as a better sign that there's some people around him that care.
Yeah, I think it's a better sign. Like if you're in rehab and you are doing, trying to get sober up, trying to get your mind right, it's crazy, bro. Because like me and Ray, we've been going on I think ever since my man passed away, I've been kind of going more on a spiritual journey, and I've been listening to a lot of these like kung fu guys, bro. I gotta send you a really good podcast episode.
Okay.
So, Grandmaster, Kung Fu Grandmaster, bro. Like he has the monkey paw technique. Like the dude has beat his hand so bad, but like fucking it's a weapon now. He already hit 2.5 million views on YouTube in a month. And he's going through all these techniques, but beyond all that, he's talking about mindfulness too, and about sobriety, inner peace. Remember we talked about happiness? Mm-hmm. So that alignment, with sobriety for your mind, your body, and soul, I wish I could talk to Nick. Because I'm doing it right now. You eat good, your mind feels good. If your mind feels good, you want your body to feel good. I know you're a pretty good in shape dude. You really don't drink a lot of alcohol. I don't think you do any drugs. You may smoke weed here and there.
Yeah.
Where I've been on the whole other side of the spectrum for a long portion of my life. I chase the dragon so often, but the question is, like, what are we really running from?
Yeah.
And if we don't have time, if we keep injecting our body and consuming our body with drugs, alcohol, bad food, sexual desires, we can go through any vice that we want to go through, We're not aligning ourselves internally. And so I'm hoping that Nick, through this journey, starts aligning himself.
Yeah.
And it has a different insight on the way out after he goes through all of this and is able to wake up and realize that, hey, I was in the fog, bro. When you're on drugs and shit, man, you in the fog, dog.
Yeah, I think he's just got to learn how to live life, without all that stuff that he adds to it. And that's the hardest part. For me, I haven't really lived a lot of life with all that added stuff, so I guess I'm a little bit luckier. But like you're saying, you're kind of feeling like, wow, I'm experiencing these things. And maybe for you, it's like, from your perspective, it's like, maybe it makes sense why I kind of just do this stuff naturally. Because even if you haven't done bad in your life, this stuff makes you feel good. You know what I mean? Going to bed early, eating healthy, exercising, like that stuff makes you feel good. Even if I were to just be not doing drugs, that stuff makes me feel good anyway.
Yeah, but in that it goes back healthy mind, healthy body, healthy body, healthy mind,
Vice versa, right?
vice
Because they
versa.
say too, when like once you get into minutia too, sometimes like if you eat too healthy but you're stressed out, you won't see, like, you'll still have issues. So it's both. It goes hand in hand. You got to eat healthy, but then you also have to not be so stressed out.
Right,
You
right,
know.
and you gotta in like with these kung fu guys, like it's all about your breath. You know, that breath controls everything,
Yeah.
and that goes back to our lungs. That's what makes me so scared for Ben. You know, that's the. I used to tell my mom, bro. I'd be on the phone with her, and she'd be coughing, like, man, I'd be like feeling so bad for her. The number one thing we need in this world is fucking oxygen. Without oxygen, you can't live.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And the breathing is so important because it helps calm the mind. You know, and if you can calm the mind, you can start answering these addiction problems that you have incurred in your life with drinking or sex or alcohol or drugs, you know?
Yeah.
Because those are all vices we're feeling to fill the void, to feel fulfilled. Why do we all feel unfulfilled?
Yeah.
You know?
That's the $1 million question. I think it's different for everyone too. Some people, I think, they just don't like. I don't think, you know how some people are more horny than others, so their vice is like sex, and other people, their vice isn't sex. It might be like drinking or something else stupid. Not that sex is stupid or whatever the case, but you feel me. So that's the $1 million question, because everybody has their own thing that they're battling. You know, like my mom doesn't smoke, but she does drink alcohol. I barely drink alcohol, but I smoke. You know, and just that kind of thing. Like everybody's got their things they're battling. I do want to touch on BJ Penn, but you have to conclude it.
I was just gonna say this,
Yeah.
that Nick is battling something when it comes to an addiction, and you said about that picture, it looks like he's in the right place. You know, it was a bad picture, but as long as he's like living day by day and trying to get sober and trying to answer his demons, hopefully he can see out of this.
Yeah,
hopefully,
for sure.
Hopefully there's another journey for him.
Hopefully it's like Mayhem Miller. Mayhem Miller was, doing really bad a year ago, getting arrested and stuff, and he turned his life around. So I'm looking forward to seeing a story like that happen with Nick Diaz. Now,
100%.
BJ Penn,
A guy.
our guy. So I got an update again last week. We didn't really touch on it. So I made a couple posts just to give everybody an update.
Oh, he's been hot on social media.
He's been just getting in all kinds of trouble. So he was arrested for the 4th time in 2 weeks for violating the restraining order with his mom again. Here's what the police report says. Officers responded to the area in Hilo Street at 11 a.m. on Thursday to investigate a report and learned Penn had entered the residence, which police said violated terms of a temporary restraining order. He basically got processed in jail and was released after posting $3,000 bail. So he's just dropping like racks of cash on bail. He's down like 10 grand on bail money alone. Anyway, he was slated for another court appearance on Friday. Who knows if he fucking went to that or not. But the other times he got arrested was because back when we were talking about it, he got arrested that one time, which we talked about on video. Then his mom fucking...
He jumped into the window?
Yeah. Like after he bailed out, he came back over there. That was
Right.
why he got arrested the second time.
And he had a restraining order at that time, though.
Yeah, so he violated it by coming back over there.
Right.
And then the third time was that, again, he had a court date following the arrest. Failed to show up to the court date because of COVID. So that's the third one. And now it's the 4th one. So, I mean, on top of that, though, this is what I really wanted to get into, is BJ went ahead and finally showed up in court. Okay, so I said I didn't know what happened in court on Friday. I do remember now because I posted about it. He showed up to court on that Friday, and he was begging with the judge saying, like, hey, this is in criminal court, like, or this is in family court, but this isn't my mom, so, like, what's the deal here? Like, can we do this in criminal court? I don't want this to be in family court. And the judge is just basically disagreeing with him, being like, no, like, this is in family court. And so I don't know, that stuff doesn't sit right with me. Like, I don't like that they just, like, tell this guy, like, no. And just, like, chalk him up as crazy right away. Just something doesn't sit right with me. Like, I just don't like how they just say you're crazy and no. Like, okay, if you're crazy and no, then show me the proof. Tell me that you ran the DNA test and it's solidified.
But it sounds like you have more faith in the judicial system than I do. Because every time I've gone to court, bro, I had guilty. Whoa, hold on. Let me try to case. Guilty. Never have I had a chance to try to talk back or prove my point. Like it is what it is.
Oh, so you think he even got grace just by even getting to talk to them?
Yeah, I think that's just how it is. The jiu-jitsu system, like, and you pay big bucks for an attorney, you can play the game a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot. Did he get a public defender?
He's trying to figure that out. He has no fucking...
I saw that post as I need a RICO lawyer. I'm fighting organized crime, he said.
Yeah, and I saw that too. So also he posted something about, like, let me pull this up real quick. BJ and
see, our jiu-jitsu system's so
oh my gosh, he just posted something 37 minutes ago. We have to react live.
Let's go.
All right, so it says, this is what is captioned, and then we'll watch the video. It says, no matter what life throws at you, always do your best and never be afraid. Get up there and play to win. The legal help is there to make you lose. Now, that might answer a question we're talking about right now. Always speak your mind. Never shut up.
What's up? I'm at the courthouse right now. Gonna head in. But I don't know what's gonna happen. Of course, the court can do whatever it wants. This is for the TRO thing, and had this thing that I want to read over there, but we'll see how it goes. The day before the TRO incident, I had a great talk with the woman who put the TRO on me. I will refer to them as fake Lorraine and fake GD. In that conversation, we were talking about dropping all of the charges for the TRO and moving forward with the business side and giving me my fair share of the money that I put into my family's companies. I texted GD and let him know that I was going back to my room, being that the hotel cost was expensive. He didn't say no, don't go, and I was under the impression that I could return to the property because we had such a great conversation. I went to take my clothes to the house, and the house sitter that was there called fake Lorraine, and they told me they didn't take the TRO off. So I left the house and continued to speak with Lorraine. Lorraine asked me if I did follow up with my mental health exam assessment, and I told her I did and showed her the doctor's notes, and I didn't qualify for any of the state's mental health programs. While talking to Lorraine by Peacock Apartments, the officers came and arrested me. Both Lorraine and JD told officers that it was a big misunderstanding for me to return to the house and asked the officers to not arrest me. You can use the police body cameras as evidence, as well as them speaking to Lorraine. So, yeah, they knew is why. I was just there to drop off clothes because of a good conversation. But just want to put this up. Never know what could happen when I get in that courtroom.
Okay.
So he's talking about the time that they put the restraining order on him?
Yes, and then there's also another video he posted today. I mean, he's got so much stuff going on because he has his kids. We won't get into this yet, but he has his kids and his former wife or the mother of his children. He has 2 daughters, I believe, and a mother of his children. And there's a multiple year-long restraining order with them too. So it's not only his mom, like these people have got a restraining order against him too. So like he posted something about Father's Day, like not being able to see his daughters. We'll maybe watch that video next, but we'll stay on this one first. Like, so what were you going to say?
What's crazy is that he sounds so calm and collected.
Yeah, and I don't think he's trying to manipulate. Like, I don't.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of think that, you know what? There's sometimes people can have mental disorders.
Yeah.
Still be very coherent.
I hear you.
Because there could be an instance here where, like, maybe he's just so convinced that this is not his mom. He is so convinced that you're not going to be able to shake him on it, but he still be able to articulate and go through life and explain his side of the story. So, bro, this is one of the weirdest things, because he's not going off the rails.
He's not.
You know, and it's not like he beat somebody up either. Like,
right.
I don't know, but honestly, I don't know in those situations if his mom feels threatened, like, whoa, what if he just snaps? Maybe they've seen him snap before.
But we haven't seen any kind of inklings.
Well, because
We've seen more from the mom. We've seen the mom yelling at him, telling him to hit her.
But we're taking a 3-month picture when they have a life picture.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know what that dynamic relationship has been out throughout his time, throughout his life.
We
Maybe
don't. But I've never heard anything about domestic, so I won't even put that.
I haven't either.
Yeah.
But behind closed doors, you just don't know. You know what I mean?
Here's what I would say, because even like it's even having you bring it up. This is my honest take. To me, it smells of the old play in the book where you try to get somebody to hit you. And I think that's the other side of the coin. I get what you're saying, but there's the other side to the coin where what if his mom wants him to hit her so that she can press charges and file a lawsuit and really have some claim here?
And what if they already have a toxic relationship when we don't even know it? That they've always been like this, bantered back and forth. Because there are mothers and sons, dads and fathers that have very toxic relationships.
Yeah, so it could be a multitude of things on that front. It could be a multitude
of things. It's just so odd. And of course the judge isn't going to side with them, bro. Full circle, but we talked about with the judge. The judge is going to be like, nah, dude, you're here. We're going to deal with this right here.
Yeah, so I guess he's about to go into court. That was posted 37 minutes ago.
Now, if he had paid for an attorney, let's say he paid a fucking top-notch attorney, bro. That attorney is going to file so many motions. It'd be like, nope, we want this to go into family court. Here is the thing. We want a drug test. That's what money does for you, though. Mm-hmm. You go to public defender, you defend yourself, man. You're not putting any motions. You're not putting any real arguments. The judge is going to keep going along.
You're going to keep getting like the shit end of the stick, right?
Really are.
Unless you use your money to kind of like even it out.
The most wealthy know how to play the game within the judicial system, because the judicial system is a game.
Yeah.
There's a reason why the most wealthy people in the world get the most wealthy attorneys and they know how to go exactly into the court system and know how to play it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's the game that they set up. When I say they, I mean white people.
There we go. Or the fucking whatever. Whoever's in the higher ups who takes that money anyway.
It's not people of color, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, they're not the higher ups in the judicial system, are they? But I mean, there are some black judges and shit like that, right?
No, they weren't the ones who created the judicial system.
Oh, I feel you.
At that time,
like the George Washingtons or whatever. Who even created
slaves.
that shit?
White people.
White people.
I don't want to put down another.
Okay. Let me say.
Hey, Happy Juneteenth is tomorrow. Happy Juneteenth.
So let's just talk about real quick this last thing about BJ Penn. I think we'll end it here. So he posted another video like, Happy Father's Day from Child Welfare Service. After hundreds of CPS reports, 20 TROs, 4 molestation lies that Penn passed off as growing pains, the last straw was Penn took the 16-year-old daughter and her friends to Waikoloa, and 3 days later the 16-year-old tries to set BJ up to beat up her boyfriend and get Penn arrested because the 16-year-old says, I make $20K if I get you in jail today. BJ Penn finally says, I never treated or talked my father like this. We have to take a DNA test. Then the kids put on a 3 to 5 year TRO to avoid making a DNA test. So basically he's saying that his daughter disrespected. Might not
be his daughter?
Well, he's saying his daughter disrespected him, and he said, I never talked to my parents like this, so you must not be my kid.
Believe me, I've seen a lot of kids disrespect their parents.
Let me hear this.
December, the last time we saw them was December.
Question. So at this point,
we're protecting. I mean, is it in anyone's best interest that the kids don't come and get a DNA test for me? Is it in our best interest? Is it in your best interest? Is it in Shay's best interest? What's the real reason that we don't want me to see the kid for not only 1 year, we're talking 3 years?
That's not us. It's the
but it's right. Us supporting it, right? You're supporting this though.
How am I supporting?
By writing that you support it on the thing.
We're mandated from the court to write a report.
But you guys can't make your own opinion. You always gotta write the same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys cannot choose. You guys can't make opinions in there.
We don't do custody. We're not custody evaluation.
So how with my taxes? How do I get a benefit from you if I pay money to the?
So I think here's another thing that BJ just said in this video. He says BJ kind of almost thinks too, and I feel bad for him a little bit because he seems smart, but then he seems naive. He's like, I pay taxes, so like you work for me. But it's like, you could say that, but it doesn't mean that they're gonna do that. Like, they're still gonna F you over.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
But he's basically saying that he wants a DNA.
I still got arrested.
What happened?
I told that to a cop one day. I still got arrested.
Yeah, like it doesn't like yeah, exactly. Like the fact that you pay taxes, it only takes you so far. It's more of like a inner thing that helps you out. It's not something you could fucking like use to get through like any
I pay your paycheck. I pay your paycheck.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I just want to say that this video was kind of a he's asking for DNA tests with his daughter because he doesn't believe his daughter is his daughter. He should be asking for DNA tests with his mom too.
Sounds like you guys a plethora of DNA tests that need to be.
He needs to run like 50.
It does sound like that. Everybody, I don't think he got any family anymore.
This is insane. So
This is insane.
that's pretty much the show. Let me just read off some of the chats. Oh, you got something else?
One, Izzy, how you gonna go after the homie Buckley like that? Like your own people and shit, bro. Like it to me, it's just like it's out of pocket, disrespectful. Like there's no need to take it to that point, to that place. Like what did Buckley do to you for you to have to take it that far?
Izzy's just a straight up hater. You know, back when Joaquin and Ariel got in their argument, right? See, I watch a lot of stuff and it always sticks with me. Back when Ariel and Joaquin got in their argument, it messed with Ariel a lot. Ariel was like doing a lot of interviews after that, like venting about that argument he had with Joaquin, including when he had Izzy on his show. Izzy came in studio and talked to Ariel, and then Ariel tried to do that part where he vented to Izzy about it, being like, I don't know why the guy was so mean to me or something like that. And Izzy was like, nah, like I don't want, like how I do with Joe Pyfer. Izzy was kind of like, nah, I don't want to talk about this guy. And so right then and there, I'm like, damn, Izzy, like that, like you're gonna do that, like like you said about another brother in front of like fucking Ariel, like you don't like Joaquin, but you're sitting here in Ariel's studio, like what kind of sense does that make?
Yeah.
But anyway, fast forward, yeah, he clearly hates Joaquin.
Yeah, the only thing I could say is like I get it, you know, like you guys both from, you know, that part of the continent, so you're gonna back Usman, right? Francis Ngannou, Izzy. So I get that, but at the same time, like you didn't need to go that like.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It wasn't just that he was backing Usman. Like I'm telling you, like even without Usman, he truly doesn't like Joaquin.
I don't know. It was too much for me. I was like, come on, bro. Like that's too much, dog.
I guess so. I might even be like surprising you with this. For me, I'm like, hey, at least you're honest about it. A lot of guys won't like you, and then they'll like you to your face. At least Joaquin knows you don't like him. He can move accordingly now. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Proper steps can be made.
I did like Joaquin's response to him.
Take whatever. Be mad at the farmer who took your belt, even though Strickland took the belt, but still, he didn't get it back against the farmer.
Right.
Yeah. Anything else on topics?
Conor,
yeah, that's kind of fucked up, honestly, what he did. Like, to me, here's my thing about it. Like, and I'm gonna be real. Grow up, man.
Conor's record outside the ring is 3-0.
Yeah, they're all saying he's back. But in all reality, even all jokes aside, like grow up, dude. Like you got kids. What are you even doing in the club? Like just grow up. Like you've done it. You've been there, done that. Like to be still going in the club, even if it's a paid appearance, I don't see the juice being worth the squeeze, even if you do get paid to go there. You have kids at home. Your name is being ran through the media. So what, you got like, let's just say you got like you know, $250,000 to show up to a club, but then like you just got everything else that just happened. Is that worth it to you? Your reputation is getting tarnished in front of your children.
You know, it goes to show you though, I mean, we can go through the array of fucking entertainment celebrities that you're like, I hate to say it, I put the same name in there, but Cardi B.
Mm-hmm.
Cardi B's out at the club, shaking her ass, doing this. Who's taking care of the kids that we just got with the Offset?
Mm-hmm.
Kim Kardashian out in the club doing this. Kanye West out in the club doing this. Who's taking care of the kids?
It's crazy to me. They need to grow up.
That's the society we live in.
It's like they're so thirsty for, I don't know what kind of attention you get at the club. Because if Conor didn't punch that guy, nobody would know he's in the club. You're literally just there.
Yeah, it's taking it way too far.
It's like these people never grow up when they become famous.
Right, but that goes back to I'm gonna send you this clip. You know, I hope hopefully we can do a reaction on it next week, because like this clip I was just talking to you about, this this Kung Fu Grandmaster. He breaks down, bro, like these type of things we're talking about. That what are people still chasing?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't you want a family? Didn't you want the love? Didn't you want the fame? Didn't you want the money? But then when you go and you get all that, and what are we still chasing?
Mm-hmm.
And now you're putting yourself in predicaments like that. You're still in a club. You're still intoxicated. You're still making bad decisions. You know, there's something deeper that's not fulfilled.
Something for sure. And I don't have the answer, but yeah, let me know what that clip is, and I'll listen to it. Yeah, in context to kind of what we're talking about.
It's almost too like this is a good clip for us to do a reaction on it, because it's going viral right now.
Mm-hmm.
It also has MMA related, because the dude is a Kung Fu fucking master, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like grandmaster, top level, you know.
Yeah.
But the inner peace too that he shares with just who he is as a person is so insightful. But
yeah, I'll listen to it for sure. Is there anything else on topics for the day?
That was it. I think that was it. I think we got through them. Yeah.
Okay, for sure. We did.
What's next for Buckley? What's next for Usman? BJ, Rodolfo, Izzy, the Nick Diaz photo. Well, we didn't do the Rountree Hill, but we did the Ben Askren, Shavkat, and Conor.
Yeah. Okay. If you want to, if not, it's fine. But do you want to touch on Hill for like 5 minutes or no?
We can give 5 minutes.
Okay. Rountree Hill. I love a Rountree fight. I love a Hill fight. So I'm looking forward to this one.
Who do you got?
Man, it's tough. I just think I like Jamahal Hill a little bit more. Not anything against Rountree. I gravitate towards Jamal's personality, I think, a little bit more. But it's almost like how you were saying you're nervous for Joaquin. I could be a little bit nervous for Jamahal. But you got both guys promising like flawless victory.
Didn't he just lose to Yuri?
Just lost to Yuri, yeah. But yeah. I hear Jamahal saying like, Khalil's saying like, oh, I did better against Pereira than him. And then Jamal's arguing back saying, well, I've knocked out guys that knocked you out. So how about that? And so these guys are going back and forth. I just watched the media day, and
I was looking for media day. I couldn't find it. I saw clips, but I didn't see the whole thing.
I guess UFC recently posted it like a couple hours ago. But Rountree said, I won't bleed. That's my prediction for this fight. I won't bleed. That's a bold promise.
I'm taking Rountree.
Okay.
I hope Hill proves me wrong.
Yeah. It's a great fight. I just love these good matchups, you know. And
I'm taking Ignacio.
Bahamondes, who's he fighting?
He's fucking Rizov. What's Rafael Rizov?
Oh, Rafael Fiziev.
Rafael Fiziev. Yes.
That's a tough matchup for Fiziev, for sure. Yeah, for sure. That's a tough one.
Ignacio's about to get in that top 15, homie.
Yeah. Rountree Hill, is there any magnitude on this fight, like where it takes someone?
You got to get back in the win column.
Yeah.
That's for sure, bro. Like, cause you don't what this would be Hill's three. This would be a 3-fight losing streak. I think he lost to Pereira. He lost to Yuri. You don't want to lose 3 in a row.
I think for a guy like Rountree, let's say he gets the dub, you could give him like a Yuri Prohaska or something.
100%.
Jamahal Hill has fought almost everybody at the top of the division, so it makes it a little bit harder for him.
Yeah, the rankings are, just since we're on it.
Who's circled around Jamal right now?
So we got Piera, Yuri, Carlos Olberg, Jamahal Hill, Jan Blachowicz, Alexander Rakic.
Okay. So I think also Jan Blachowicz and Carlos Olberg will be in the mix for the winner or loser of this fight. Yeah, that sounds like a good matchup to me. Fresh matchups, because we can't keep having rematches.
Right.
So that'll conclude it. I'm interested to see the views on this podcast, because, bro, at times we were up to like 25 concurrent viewers at once, like 39 at one point in time. So shout out to everybody who watched. It's lower now, but shout out to everybody who watched.
Shout out to all the Parry punchers. You know what we should do when you realize that?
Yeah.
We should take a pause.
I was thinking about acknowledging them. I was thinking about being like, hey, we got this many people fucking tuned in right now. Shout out to everybody watching. Make sure to subscribe. But I'll do that next time.
Yeah, what questions you got? Like you could
Yeah.
create a segment for that right then and there, you know?
Yeah, I'm learning too. We can do like a Q&A, and like I started a poll. So 62% of people, since we're on the topic, I did a poll midstream. 62% of people are saying Rountree over Hill.
That's another smart thing. When you do
So
it,
we got 8 votes.
so that's another smart thing. When you do it, create a poll for whatever that fight is coming up.
Yeah, and then there's also live Q&A that I could do. It says start a Q&A, start a poll. So I could try Q&A next time.
No, that's smart.
That's some good shit. But I did, just to wrap it up, last couple seconds here, I want to read off the last comments for the people who are still watching. So back when we were talking earlier, somebody said like, you know, control time wins, talking about that Usman Buckley fight. So another Just Jew is saying judging is inconsistent. Sometimes damage is scored over control time, and other times control time is scored over damage. That's a good point. It is kind of like wish-washy. Sometimes it's about who the promotion wants to win. You know, who are they going to lean with? That's what it seems like. I won't say it definitively.
And it's almost like who leaves a lasting impression on the judges.
That is a big thing.
It's a lasting impression when you've been on the ground 2 minutes and the guy's on top of you, and you have to be the one to get up. Like,
yeah, even if you don't do much, I can see the argument there. I can see the argument because the problem is when you do get taken down on the ground, it's like you're really doing nothing. At least when they're on the feet, even if Usman's losing in the striking department, he's doing something back. You feel me? But when Usman's just on top of you, it really is like a 0 to like, you know what I mean? Everything he's doing. Just to finish it up, Kayla Square Tree is trash. Hill will fold him up like a chair. Shout out to you, Elvis. Make sure to subscribe. I have not seen you in the fucking chat before, so make sure you subscribe. And then
you just became a homie. You just became a
yeah, he just became a fucking loyal listener. And then Elvis also said, "Wow, why is he telling the world this?" That was when we were reading BJ Penn's thing. So another guy, Just Jew, again, loyal listener, Jew. We love you, Jew. He says, "Return of the Mac" with the crying, laughing face. So yeah, the fans love it. McGregor's back with a knockout. Let's get him signed fucking a new UFC contract. All right, boys. Thanks to all the listeners. We will be back next week, 4 p.m. Wednesday. Peace out, boys.